real estate industry just has this cutthroat, like
Mm-hmm.
we're all after the same business and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've, over the years, just in the 8 years that I've been in it, it's really, I only kind of experienced that in the first few years. The last probably 6 years have really been, no, we're a team. Like
Yeah.
listing agent, buy, selling agent, like we are all on the same team, same goal,
Right.
get our clients out or in this house. And
I
it's
love
just
that.
the dynamic of the industry, especially in our area, right? Like our area is flooded with agents, coming in, going out all the time. And I think just the more connections, the better connections that you make agent to agent, the better your client benefits from, and just everybody a part of that transaction benefits from.
Talking about working your sphere
Yep.
and kind of where you came from, the why of why that was more
Yeah.
attractive to you than working internet leads.
Yeah.
When you've had some good success with it, tell me, what was it about internet leads that have you had the opportunity before?
I have,
Okay.
and just ran from it, like it's there and hey, we offer it. And it just never was one of those check marks, like, okay, well, what am I looking for in my next brokerage or whatever the case may be? And that was just always, I could leave it or take it or leave it, just because I had that skill set already and I was good with it. Like I was
Of working your
already,
sphere,
yeah.
finding the sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, really I was hindering myself, shame on me. But, I took my skill of what I was focusing on and I ran with it, and that's all I was doing. So
Well,
and I always, I always think about it, right? Could I have done both? Absolutely. But that was out of my comfort zone
well,
and I just didn't want to do it.
I think that's okay. I think identifying, your skill level, your skill set,
Yeah.
or your niche, or identifying what it is that you're going to do and going and being great at it. I think
Mhm.
where a lot of people fail or don't find success is when they can't identify it,
Yeah.
or they don't have the guts to get after it.
Yes.
Right. So if you
That's
can
truly
do
what
that,
it is. Yeah.
yeah, if you can do it, if you got the guts to go make it happen, then by all means do that if that's your thing. For me, so I was born and raised in the area. I'd lived away for a good while, and coming back, I had some connections, but not really, not deep connections. I recognized people around, around town, but not a sphere to speak of. So
Yeah.
when I came back, working leads just made sense to me.
Mhm.
And for me, it was really the opposite track that you took, but for the same exact reason.
Yeah.
And I had the same mindset. It was, I don't really have a sphere. So this is the only way I'm going to get business. I tell people, you could have the best restaurant, you could be the best chef in town, but if nobody knows where you are, if your location
That's right.
is on the backside of a shopping center,
Yeah.
nobody knows where you are, there's going to be no butts in those seats to cook for.
Exactly.
And you're going to be out of business pretty quick. So for me, those leads were needed. And so, but similar to you, I went at it,
Yeah.
right? I was like, this is what I got to do. This
Yeah.
is my approach. So I'm going to go at it. Cool thing is, over the years, those leads have become my sphere. Ultimately, that is the end goal, right? Is I'm working someone else's leads to eventually make those my sphere.
Yeah. And I think that's super awesome. And that's just to a great point for agents who are scared, like me, to pick up the phone and talk to a stranger because I haven't had to do that, right? It's a new
Yeah.
skill set that,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm here as a solo agent joining a team. Like I know I'm in my own way when it comes to that, right? Like my business, it could be doubled, tripled, in that effect of get out of your own way,
Right.
get out of your comfort zone. But a big part of that is surrounding yourself with the right people to support you and to help you do that, right? It's not just this, hey, here's some leads, make some calls. No, it's the training behind it is, okay, I want to. What do I do? What do I
Right.
say?
Right.
Because I talk to my people completely different than I talk to a lead,
That's
and the few times that I have done that, right, fallen right on my face and learned my lesson. But
that's such a valid point too. Is you can't
we
work
need that.
leads. Yeah, you can't work leads the way that you work your sphere.
Not at all. And and that's scary. That's like, yeah, my business can double and in an overnight if I just apply myself. Okay, well, someone help me apply myself. Really,
Right.
that's really what it comes down to.
That accountability, and that's something that you
huge.
have to have. I don't care if you work your sphere, if you're working leads, but if you don't have the accountability, if you don't have someone there saying, okay, did you make 30 phone calls today?
Right.
Did you make 20 or 40, whatever your goal is? Did you make those, to your friends, to your sphere, to your leads, whatever it is? Are you doing that? So
And
that's
some people
one
need it and
element.
some people don't. right? And I think that's the beautiful thing of having the team aspect is somebody is going to be there to say, "Hey, do you need me?" And then if you don't, be like, "Cool, let me know what I can help with."
Right.
If not, so
Right.
there's you have the choice, you have the opportunity, you have the resources,
You
and
know what's
it's
amazing? I
go.
have some personal friends in the business who are, we're at the type of firm where we've got a kind of a great support system. There's an organization, or some people call it a downline type system, and so we all kind of grow together. And so I have friends who really really like the model, and they're successful. They're solo agents and they're very successful. And something that and this is just recently, a few people that have talked to me about, they really like the company that we're with, and want to join that kind of model. And it's amazing to me. And I love this. The successful agents are like, I need accountability. And I've had to step up and say, okay, listen, what does that look like for you?
Right.
Because I can be that for you. You're not on my team. You don't answer to me. You answer to yourself,
Sure. Yeah.
but we can have lunch, once in a while, and we can sit down, and we can have, set conversations aside once a week to say, where are you in your own personal goals?
Absolutely.
What are you accomplishing? Do you want to grow a team? What are you doing to get there? Are you still selling 40 houses on your own? That's awesome. But at what point, if you want to continue to scale, at what point are you going to start transition? How does that look? And sometimes we can get on our own track and just keep moving down our own track so fast that we forget there are other things that we want to do.
Yeah.
There's other ways that we want to branch out. Let me ask you, so you touched on the difference in working a sphere and working leads. And I know you've never really done leads that much, but you've been in
I've
sales.
dabbled, yeah, and in sales, it's yes, before real estate, it was a dealership and stuck in an office, just pounding the phones. I mean, me and my girls would make 100, 200, 300 calls a day, and
Yeah.
it's incoming and outbound, calls and such, and internet leads and all of that. But that conversation, it's kind of the same thing of, they're calling in and inquiring. You don't wanna be too pushy, you wanna set an appointment, it's
Right.
kind of the same skill set, but it was also once I exited that industry, I was burnt out. That
Yeah.
was one thing that I just had in my back of my mind, I'm like, "God, I don't wanna do this again."
Yeah,
But
leads can be, I think it's a lot of times it's mindset too. For me, it
yeah.
just was what it was, and going after trying to make friends with people that are super afraid that I'm going to sell them something. That's
Mm,
where I learned early on
yeah.
that the importance of stop trying to sell houses,
Yep.
start looking for relationships.
That was one beautiful thing that when I sat down and talked to you about, "Hey, let's combine forces of" and when I sat in on the training of, "Hey, we're building relationships," it's kinda like the light bulb went off. I wish more people had your mindset and was training that and teaching that because that's all it is, and that's really
Yeah.
my mindset at the dealership side, right? It was always, "Hey, I don't want you to sell me anything." And I'm like, "Trust me, I don't wanna sell you anything. That's not what I'm doing. I'm here to help you obtain your goal
Yeah.
of you're inquiring about something specific and let me help you get there." And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the same mind frame of real estate. It's you are inquiring, you went online, you did the work, you're looking at this house, and now I'm the professional that you're reaching out to.
Right.
How can we do that? But there are so many things in between, right? Of
Yeah.
how do I break down your wall? How do you know you can trust me?
Yeah.
So it's absolutely relationship building. So it is very similar to, hey friend, hey acquaintance on Facebook, hey so and so who's following me on social or whatever the case may be. And they finally reach out, right? But they've already kinda, like, done the back history on me, right? Like, "Hey, she's cool.
Right.
I know her
When
personality,
you get a referral,
but this person" yeah, coming
it might
in
be a referral from a friend
yeah,
who's saying, "Hey, you can trust this girl."
right,
So that trust is immediately there.
yeah,
That's funny. That reminds me, we had an agent not so long ago who's with us now, who's incredibly successful, and she's great with online leads. She came from a sphere type of world her first couple of years, and she did really well. She's the type that's not afraid to just talk to somebody in a grocery store
yep,
line, and people know she's an agent no matter where she is. She's advertising it, and that's so awesome and such a great way to be. But she started working leads, and she'd had a conversation with a particular lead that she was working with, and invited them. They were coming to town to look at homes, and the conversation was something along the lines of, okay, I've got you. You're right. Don't worry about it. When you get to town, I got you. Coming to
mhm,
town next week? Okay, cool. Just be ready. I'll take you to see some houses. I got you. Well, on their way to town, she got a text saying, "Hey, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to work with someone else." And she came to me just A mess. Yeah. Just, what happened? I've been talking to these people. And as I started to dig in and ask her questions, all right, when's the last time you talked to them? How were the conversations? What are
Yeah.
the, it started to become evident to me that it's been a while since she spoke to them. And she had the same kind of conversation she would have with her best
Yeah.
friends
The
who
dynamic.
know, trust, and like
Yes.
her.
Yes.
With people she's really only had collectively maybe 20 to 30 minutes worth of conversations with
Sure.
over the last month. And the last time they spoke was a week ago.
Yeah.
They didn't know the plan. They didn't trust her the way her friends might have said, "Oh, Troy said, trust me, I got you.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me."
Right.
These folks, that wasn't
Mhm.
good enough for them.
I don't know you. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
she learned a great lesson that day. And, sometimes we have to learn the hard lessons.
Absolutely.
Um,
Trial and error
but
fall on your face and then
yeah,
succeed.
communication with people that don't trust you that yet, and not that they had any reason not to trust her, but they didn't know her well enough yet to have that level of trust. And so over communicating, I was talking with another agent recently, and we literally called his client together to update them that we had no update for them.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you, first of all, do that with your agents. You do that with any agent
Mm.
of, hey, I need your help. Sure, let's get on the phone together. And it's a comfortable, and that's another point of trusting each other in this industry.
Yeah.
Of, if I need your help and I know you're not gonna swoop in underneath and steal my client just because
Mhm.
I'm asking for some help. Like that is such a stepping stone of building together, and your business and my business can be together in this aspect of growing together.
Well, that's the
And,
cool thing about
you
not
know,
wanting to sell more homes.
yeah.
I
Well, that and
I
just
wanna help y'all sell more
yeah,
homes.
just being successful and just your mind frame of,
Yeah.
I want you to succeed because if you succeed, I succeed. Like, and it's just, it's a part of being a part of real. It's just work hard and be kind. That's all
Yeah.
it is. It's, I
Yeah.
don't want your business. You make your business, but I'm here to help you. If I have that skill set, please, by all
Yeah.
means.
I tell people sometimes, been on the field for a long time. I've been the quarterback for a long time. I don't want to be on the field anymore.
Mhm.
I want to be the coach. I want to be on the sidelines,
Yeah,
coaching,
yeah.
telling you guys the plays, letting you guys get in there and fight your own battles. And I want to be support and kind of provide the big overview
That's
and
huge.
dig in with the, giving you some details on the plays, discussing what plays you might want to go with. But I want to be more on the
I
coaching
think
side.
that's huge because real estate industry just has this cutthroat, like
Mm-hmm.
we're all after the same business and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've over the years, just in the 8 years that I've been in it, it's really, I only kind of experienced that in the first few years. The last probably 6 years have really been, no, we're a team. Like
Yeah.
listing agent, buy, selling agent, like we are all on the same team, same goal,
Right.
get our clients out or in this house. And
I
it's
love
just
that.
the dynamic of the industry, especially in our area, right? Like our area is flooded with agents, coming in, going out all the time. And I think just the more connections, the better connections that you make agent to agent, the better your client benefits from, and just everybody a part of that transaction benefits from. And I think a lot more agents are realizing that, hey, I'm not against you. Like, we are the negotiators. We are the middle ground. We are the reason why these people, one, trust us to get this done. And now let's quit butting heads. Let's work this deal for the 30 to 60 days, however long it's going to take us, and then make it a positive experience for everybody
You know,
and not leave that nasty, oh, I hate this industry. I'm never going to work with that agent again type of mentality. Like, very rare have I had those instances. So I think just everybody's mindset over the years has come to just work hard and be kind to each other,
yeah.
and it's really, really starting to pay off. And from what I've seen,
It's
around
interesting
town.
it's interesting that you say that. In my I'm almost 20 years in the business now, and over I feel like I've straddled kind of 2 different generations of agents. When I came in, around 30 years old, it was way more cutthroat, and
Yeah.
it was a very eat or be eaten kind of business. There were certainly nice people, always have been
Yeah.
nice people, but it was maybe a little more salesy even back then. At least it felt like that to me at the time. And I don't know if it's maybe the emergence I feel like there's more young people in the business than there ever have been.
Mhm.
The really emergence and popularity of social media over those years, I think, has made the community smaller and people tend to know each other. Back then, we didn't know each other.
Right.
We used to have to
Very
drive
good point.
contracts around. I would have to get a counter offer and drive it over to you
Mm.
to give it to you to, now we were doing a lot of faxing mostly, but, certainly HOA docs or
Yeah.
condo documents, we were having to drive you a packet of 300 pages. and drop it off to you for you to then deliver it to your clients. And we would meet each other
Yeah.
from time to time. There was a lot less of this really knowing each other.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we're all friends on social
That's very,
media.
very true.
And
Yeah.
so that I think that
I think
creates
that
more
drags
of
it
a
too.
friendship
Yeah.
or a familiarity.
Or to it brings personality to it, right? So that was really big in the early years for me of I have that desire to connect with people. And so when the agent on the other end, they're super dry or just super professional, and I'm like, "Oh man, Nancy's going to be great on this
Right.
one, you know?"
Right.
I think to your point, social media absolutely helps us break that barrier down of, hey, we're people. Hey, I'm a mom. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a local, just regular woman in the area, like, and so it kind of eases that tension between each other of, hey, just talk to me as a professional. If there's an issue, bring it up. Like that's what we're doing, not this, hey, well, my client said, and just always having this abrupt type of relationship with each other,
We can represent our clients, but without battling each other at the same
Absolutely,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah,
You can
I
pick
think
up the
that's great.
phone and say, "Hey, Kara, my client just told me this.
You know what?
What are your thoughts?" And
We
I
should
love that.
I oftentimes end up friends, on Facebook
Yep.
with people I've worked a deal with eventually, but that's probably a good practice. Like as soon as you make an offer or as soon as you ratify a
Yep.
contract, friend that agent.
And
So
and
yeah.
so I don't probably in the early years it was creepy, but I just did it anyway
Yeah.
because that's who I am. I'm like, cool. I want to. Not only do I want to know, this person that I am having a working relationship with for a little bit at least, but you gotta remember it's almost daily that we're talking to these
Mhm.
people. And if it's not gonna be a pleasant experience, I'm gonna at least try to make it one, turn it
Right.
around for something. And then afterwards, right? Let's say that person comes back up. Say they're putting
Yeah.
another offer on your listing.
Multiple offers
It's
and you're besting. Yeah.
yes. Like, it makes such a difference connecting and that's just the way we connect these days, right?
Yeah.
It's social media. It is what it is. Do we call each other and say, "Hey," sometimes, I do have those agents and just I've had a great experience with, and they'll call me like today on my birthday and say, "Hey girl, just thinking of you." And I'm like, "I haven't done a deal with you in 5 years, but you remember me like that."
Right.
Like, that is incredible. So, just the things that this industry brings and to the point of social media, it's unreal, and I think the people that we are serving, it serves them to know just the back end sometimes,
Yeah.
because I do share stories with my clients of, "Hey, I actually know this agent." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Is that a good thing?" They inquire
Right, right,
about
right,
it
right,
and
right.
they feel then that makes them feel more comfortable if we're on the listing side, right? My sellers are like, "Oh, cool, you know this agent. All right,
Right.
cool.
So, yeah, do you
Awesome."
trust them? Are they doing a good
Yes.
job?
Like it helps just the whole transaction as a whole.